got this all hooked up. We're hooked up to our center A's because this wing has a split A design. We've made sure our trim system is good. We've made sure that we pushed our pin in from the inside so that we can see that it's pushed in on both sides. So this is for our own safety, all right? Now let's go around to the other side. And we're gonna do the same thing again. You might want to get out of the sun. You won't be able to get any film. Good. Bringing it back around. Now when the Green Eagle is in a lot of wind like this wind's probably around 9 miles an hour. You'll see this on beaches a lot. You don't want to have a whole too much worth of slack in the wing, because if you snap forward on the wing, it's going to pull you back pretty hard. So, I mean, especially with 9 mile an hour winds. Another thing about high winds is the wing is going to, with this A-line assist system, the wing is going to just pop straight up. It's going to come up fast, and you need to be ready. All right, so we're laying our lines over, but I didn't clear them first, so let me clear them. I'm clearing my A's first. This is my center A's, and we call them center A's because if you can pan the camera over, look at these A's. They're connected to the center of the wing and mid outside of the wing. Then you have what's called the outside A's, and they're hooked to the outside of the wing, the very far corner right there. See that corner? We don't want to hook that up if we can at all, get away with it. We want to use the split A system because split A systems inflate the center of the wing first, and then the corner comes up. A lot of wings only have their A's and B's, or their A's are on one line, and that's okay. If you start having problems with the corners inflating prematurely, then fold the corners, dog ear the corners. Just make sure there's no lines behind them. But if you dog ear the corners, that'll help you get away with using just a straight A system where all three of your A's are on one piece of the riser. It's okay. So we're going through. Going to run our lines. Going to hook up our system. Make sure both pins are through. Safety. We're going to bring our center A's. We're going to connect them. Looks good. And another last thing I do is I do one more walk around real quick, because there's lines like this. Somebody can step on them real quick. They could be stuck on a weed. I look for sticks, especially on some of these dirty beaches. There'll be a stick and it'll get caught in your lines. Remember what I said about pushing your brake line out like that to disconnect it. Another thing to make sure of, you might have to come closer, is make sure before you even get in your seat to take off that you don't have any twist on your brake lines like so. This one's great because it kind of came out anyways and it would still work in flight, but you just have to let go of your brake in flight and twist it back around. So, like this, they're like a solid tab, and having the brake lines through can have a problem. And this is another problem. Brake line will be through one of the risers. So anyways, we don't want that. So you want to make sure that your brake line is clear, and then go ahead and connect it. Don't depend on your buddy to do that for you. You need to do that yourself. You also need to make sure that all your lines, like I said, are tight. And what we're going to do is we're going to move the Green Eagle just slightly farther forward so that we don't have too much slack in our lines, because like I said, it's going to come up pretty fast. We want to use the thrust of the Green Eagle to hold you in place, and or a buddy if you're in strong winds. Like we take off in 12, 13 mile an hour winds. If you have a buddy holding the front of the Green Eagle, allowing the wing to get overhead, then you can start the Green Eagle. It has a remote start system. So what's cool about that is you can be in strong air, pop the wing up, kite the wing, stabilize it on the beach or anywhere there's laminar air, and then have your buddy get away. You press the start button, which is right there up by your hand, and then give it gas and you leap into the air. It's pretty cool. So this is going to come up pretty fast. Check my seat belts. I'm going to check that I have plenty of fuel. We've already been through our pre-flights. Make sure there's one last check. There's no lines anywhere. No lines tangled around my axles. No lines tangled around a weed that's going to pull down one side of the wing. You just generally check everything. I can look over the top of the wing and tell that there's no line overs. Prop is good. Nothing happened since we warmed it up. Okay, check the wind again because this is the end of the day. The wind is changing. All right. Now you can go out of the wind a little bit, but the thing to keep in mind on the ground is when you have a glider and the glider is coming up, if it's going to the left or the right, usually it's because you're not going fast enough. Secondly, you need to pump it. This is a pump, not a jerk. That's a jerk. This is a pump, like this. The wing will react really quickly and it won't overreact. If you pull the glider because it's over here, it's going to take a while. It's going to take about a thousandth or a good 1 second. And then it's going to turn, it's going to torque and come this way versus just pumping it over to your head. And then what you need to do is, if you notice as you're traveling across the field, if the wing is going from side to side, that can be wind, and that can also be you not going fast enough. And you know, you need to at least have a ground speed of about 7 to 10 miles an hour to keep most wings above your head. So anyways, some of these faster wings would be even more, because a lot of people with green eagles, they like to fly really small wings. So, you know, it gives them faster climb outs in the air. It's kind of weird how that works, but large wings actually slow the climb out on the green eagle. Okay, so I'm checking my throttle. I'm going to check my remote starter switch. It's on. And I'm going to look at the wind socks. It's pretty strong wind. So when the wind dies down, that's when I'm going to take off. Go get my helmet. If you have one of these Deluxe Com helmets, you can pop the ear cup out so you can hear things around you. I'm going to do a radio check real quick. Check, check, check.
Check, check, check.
Lima Charlie. Okay. On the quad, if you have the dashboard, you have to stick your foot in first, bend over, slide in. This one's kind of set up for a short person. It's up high. If you're a tall guy, you want it down 2 inches lower. Trying to make sure there's not a lot of twist in your seatbelt. If you've been go-karting or goofing around, a lot of times you have that. Okay, I still got my wind target. Now the most important thing on a trike or a quad or anything like that, if you use an A-line assist, the cool thing is you don't have to reach up and hold the A, but you still got to watch the wing. So if you're right-handed, you're going to pick the right-hand side corner of the wing and you're going to watch that wing come all the way up into rotation. If the wing comes up in a rotation, it's perfect. You start looking up and your wing is there, you're good to go. You can give it more and more and more power. You're going to have to start off with about 50 to 60% of your power in the very beginning to get the wing past your thrust line. As the wing comes up, it's going to release you. Right now, it's going to hold you back like a parachute. And then as it comes up over your thrust line, your green eagle is going to start moving farther and farther forward, faster and faster. You remember you have to have at least 7 to 10 miles an hour running speed to hold the wing over your head in most cases if you want to kite or go around in circles or in the field. Alright, so I'm going to get my throttle, strap it onto my hand. It works good. Don't put your throttle on too tight. It's a bungee strap. If you put it on too tight, it'll cut off the circulation on your hand. Your hand will get really, really tired. Make sure you got your kill switch. On the green eagle, you have 2 kill switches. You have a kill switch on the throttle, you have a kill switch down here, which is your regular ignition switch by your tiny tag. So you can use this one. I suggest using this one. In the air, I suggest if you're flying around and you kill the engine, you know, just use your remote start right here. You can hit it with the palm of your hand. You can also move the remote start and put it on the floor somewhere so you can use your feet. Because a lot of times when you're in the air on a quad, I like to stick my feet on the inside and just kind of relax, just kind of chill. So what happens is if you keep your feet on the outside of the quad, every time you turn, you'll turn your quad too. It's kind of funny to watch people do that. So alright, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my brake lines. Remember what I said, I'm going to push out. Pushed out, I got my brake lines, and I'm going to keep my hand high. And I'm going to keep notation that I'm not moving around. If I'm looking over here, I am not moving my arm, pulling my brake line or my brake line loose. If I pull my brake line loose, obviously we could have a problem. Okay? So now I'm going to reach over, grab my other brake line, push it outwards. It's off. Cool. Didn't have to loose any lines. I'm looking good here. I'm going to hold my brake lines up for the main reason is I don't want to put any obstruction or I don't want to slow down my glider. Now if my glider comes up overhead really, really fast, you might see me do a double pump to stop the glider from overshooting me. Alright, clear prop. Here we go. Gotta get ready to go. 1,